Hello, happy day. In this episode, we will be discussing Salt Lake City, and what a solid episode, an unexpected episode to me in terms of learning more about Bronwyn.
I wasn't sure about her, and your gut was like, I think she's going to be good. And a lot of people at the Us Weekly party were like, I'm kind of liking Bronwyn. And initially, I wasn't sure of her, and I'm like, been warming up. This episode really won me over. I think it would be hard for anyone to at least not have sympathy for her and also really respect her for sharing such a personal and like heartbreaking story.
Oh.
So it's so weird how it all went down too. So she was sharing a picture of her daughter when she was younger or something. I didn't quite understand. They were at the airport and Lisa Barlow was like, "Oh, you look like you." She made a face. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you look so much like Gwen." And then she shared a photo. And then I don't understand how she made the connection that she knew the father because was he?
I think it might have been. I'm trying to remember as well, but for some reason, I feel like she was like, "Oh, she looks so much like X," and I feel like Bronwyn's like, "Oh, I think she actually looks like her father." She
That's
pulled up
right.
the one picture of the father, and she's like, "Holy shit, I know this family."
That's
So,
right.
so essentially, Bronwyn got the blame from this family of as if having sex is the woman's fault, as if
All in, yeah,
and
all in her. Yeah.
all on her. She's, this poison person, according to the baby daddy's family. And he basically had no involvement in the child's life. He eventually passes away. We don't have the details of that. Her daughter is now kind of really curious and learning more. And I think having that discussion with her daughter on camera was so, I think, very brave, very vulnerable. To me, I thought she managed herself so well in the sense of understanding why. Like, I think it'd be really easy, and you and I are both moms, obviously, to be protective and be like, fuck this family. They had the chance all
Yeah.
these years. No,
Why now?
why
Yeah.
now? Like, but I think the way she managed herself, she really understood the why. She's curious. I'm not going to hold this back from you. She's obviously 18 now. Like, I just thought she handled it really beautifully.
Yeah. I even as she was sharing it with Lisa, um, I don't I give her a lot of credit for being so vulnerable, sharing such a hard personal story, your first season as a housewife. And people might argue like, well, she shared it because it makes her more relevant. A story like that is very hard to share, especially if you haven't talked really to a lot of people about it, which I kind of got the impression that she didn't share with a lot of people the story of Gwen's dad because I mean, one, he's passed. So there's not a whole lot of resolution that's going to be found. It's not like one day Gwen and her dad are going to reconnect and make up for lost time. And, it probably is also like, just like she said, it's so painful because like she feels like the best thing she did in her life is the one thing a lot of people wish she hadn't. And that has to be such I don't know, just like a weird weight to carry. And like it just, I don't know. I just feel like it's just such a weird mix of emotions there.
Yes, it
So
was very nuanced. And I mean, of course, because I tie all things to mom talk, but I immediately started thinking about Macy
yeah,
and, her story, completely different, but just kind of some tragedy there. And the father, I think, would have been involved. But it just started my
yeah.
mind going to these different places. And it's just so shitty, but I'm curious to see what happens as Gwen decides to kind of learn more. I doubt we'll get to see any of that because it's very private and personal, but I'm
I would
curious
imagine
an update on that.
the grandparents probably don't want much shared, but I would think like it'd be safe for Bronwyn at the reunion to say like she's met them or
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. I
And
also want to add though, I do think Bronwyn telling Lisa this, yes, Lisa knew the family, but she could have just been like, oh, what a weird coincidence. And Bronwyn could have left it at that and not felt the need to share more. But like she did, decide to open up a little bit more to Lisa about it. I think that shows that they actually, I mean, it's more than just I'm bringing this person into the show, which was actually my initial vibes here was like, I don't think they're legitimately friends. I just thought it was like Lisa, this
yeah,
is your friend you're bringing on the show. But the fact
yeah,
that she did open up to Lisa, that makes me think, I mean, even the fact she showed the picture, I think she looks like her dad. This is a photo of her dad. It shows
yes,
that she trusts Lisa a little bit more there.
yes.
Um, Okay. Also, I could not imagine finding out the father of your child died via social media. She saw
I
the
know
obituary shared on
it
Facebook.
it's that would be really fucked up. And I given how Bronwyn managed herself and her emotions, I would assume she's in therapy or has a healthy
Yeah.
outlet to unpack this, but yeah, that would be so fucked
I'm
up.
wondering now if that's the appeal of her husband. Like, is it he was just like, I know there was a big age difference, but I was like, he's not very attractive. Yeah, he's rich, but like, you can find like a more attractive rich guy, was like kind of my argument in last week's episode. But knowing this, I'm like, maybe it was he was stability. He told her, like, this isn't your fault. I can't believe this happened to you. Like, it was kind of like he had that mature outlook of like, no, you're amazing for going through this and not like, ooh, like, like I'm sure there was some people even now, Mormon, that make her still feel bad for having this child and
Yeah.
not putting it up for adoption, not going away. And so I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's part of some of her marriage and why like she
Yeah,
loved him so much.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense, and I think too with Bronwyn coming in with the outfits, and I think it's easy for reality stars to have, like, a persona of themselves, like,
Yeah.
an amplified version, and it was nice to kinda take down the layers. It kinda reminds me when, like not the same, but you know how, like, Lady Gaga used to be so over the top with her costumes, and then she, like, brought down the makeup, and it's just like, "Okay, we see the real person behind,
Yeah.
the and I think Bronwyn has a little bit of that. Something that has made me, really sad, and it was interesting, was Mary Cosby. There was a moment that they shared with her and her son, and she was very much like indirectly asking, like, "Why do you need money? What are you
Or
going to be
you
using it on?"
yeah.
And he is so clearly fucked up.
He has
Um,
entered rehab.
Yes, I saw that. So he has checked into rehab. Let's hope this news outlet is true, and I hope he's getting the support that he needs. Addiction is a hell of a thing, and it was just
That
very
was
sad to see.
even like the way he was talking, that was really like his eyes. It was really I don't want to speculate much, but it was there was some substance, whether it was legal or illegal, that was in play in that scene, and it was pretty obvious. And even the things that Mary said it without saying it, that right now he couldn't get a job because he wouldn't be able to show up consistently. It would be like he would end up being fired. That would be worse for his mental health. But it's all based off of lifestyle choices, is what she said, which obviously I think is implying either drinking or drugs or, just abusing some sort of substance. And it was, I don't know, it was just sad too. Cause I mean, this isn't like, not that like a 12-year-old on drugs isn't sad, but like when she was like, you're a plant, you need to nourish your body. It was like, that's something you explain. Like I'm explaining that to my 7-year-old right now. Like,
Yeah,
you're about to go to soccer practice. I know you want to eat candy. That's not going to give you sustained energy to make it through soccer practice. And then you won't understand why you're so tired and like drained. Like those are things you tell 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. You shouldn't be explaining it to a grown adult. So it was heartbreaking.
it's really sad. So I don't know. I'm curious to see at what point will Mary share like her story with that, and not
Yeah.
so much
Maybe
his
just that
journey, but
he
just the struggle of parenting someone who needs help,
yeah.
which would be very interesting. So, of course, this episode, we have these heartbreaking moments. And then, of course, we have the petty moments of Whitney discovering through the blogger, the podcaster, that it is Lisa who leaked the information about the Alibaba stuff, allegedly.
I mean, I do kind of love it. What I love even more though is Lisa Barlow. All the activities she does where she's meeting people are like shopping, eating, or like lounging. She was getting like, a foot massage. She was doing the Himalayan salt. And she's sitting in like a chair with a blanket. Like it just, I love a person who like is not gonna put on a facade. She's not out there trying to do yoga to bond with everyone. She is gonna relax and she's going to be seated. And
And it's
it
also the same salt place that the Whitney they went on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
oh,
'Cause
is it? Oh,
I'm pretty sure, like, how many salt, I mean, they're both in
that's
Stony
true.
and Salt
I
Lake,
didn't
like,
know if it
how
was
many
like with Swig, like they're a dime a dozen up
I
there.
mean,
So,
that's possible as well. It could be the same franchise, if anything, but I just found
get your
that
soda, then get your Himalayan salt. Yeah.
Yes, but Heather, you have a good point of view I saw in your notes about Heather in this season.
So everyone's like, "Oh, turns out, Lisa Barlow is the one leaking it. Lisa is the villain. It's not Meredith." You guys, the secret villain in all of this is Heather, and I love a secret villain, like, more than I love when someone leans into being the villain and does it well. Erica Girardi, classic example. The second she was like, "Okay, you guys wanna hate me? You can hate me." And then it was like, then we all loved you, and we loved to hate you. It was, like, such a good role
We're
for
such
her.
a sick fan base.
I know. But I mean, Heather Gay is a secret villain. And I was like thinking back, I'm like, wow, there's just so much shit happening. And it's like, oh, wait, but who was the one who felt the need to tell Heather about the Alibaba stuff to begin with? She could have waited for Meredith to do it or Lisa to do it. But she pretty quickly, after finding out, went and told Whitney what they were saying. And then she also was very quick to go to Lisa Barlow and talk about the things Angie was saying, knowing, of course, anytime a remark is made about you not being a good mother or like the way you parent in a negative way, it is going to piss you off. I don't care if you truly are. Like, you might have really won the Mother of the Year award and someone says something that, like, it will always hit deep. So, like, she knew what she was doing, and it's like, wow, secret
She was
villain.
carbon monoxide,
Yeah,
odorless.
yeah,
That's like the same
lethal.
energy she was giving. I kind of picked up on the same thing as I was watching. I don't remember putting in this note. I almost did, but the pot stirring and
Oh, yeah,
like
I'm like, yeah,
I'm
her
honestly surprised that no one's like connecting these dots and like calling this out. And I'm curious to see how she's going to get off on this as the season progresses, but or if someone's going to be like, wait a second, as they put the dots together with Reality Von Teese, putting it together with Heather and being like, wait a second,
yeah,
who told you this? Heather, da da da, like going on. So it is
I
it is
mean,
interesting pivot for Miss Heather from previous seasons, I feel, where she's
I
getting more
know.
inserted in the drama and just saying, you can't, no secret safe with Heather because she's going to tell everybody.
A part of me wants to, like, be like, "Oh, this will be we're gonna use that clip as the teaser." So we put it out there because more people see our Instagram than listen to our podcast. But I'm also like, "Wait, we all put it out there. She's no longer a secret villain." I would love for it to, like, maybe go under the radar a little bit, and then, like, the question Andy asked at the reunion is like, "Heather, a lot of people have tweeted in asking, are you aware that you're the secret villain of this season and that you've stirred the pot more than anyone else?" And then it's like, whoop, and she has to face the music in that moment. I don't want to give her time to prep for the question. Like, I don't want
No.
her to know it's coming, but
Mm.
I also want her
Oh,
to know
secret
we're onto
safe
her.
between all of us. We're onto her. She's carbon monoxide energy. Other moments that were interesting in this episode. So again, lots of different things. Brittany and this Osmond dude. I just like can't with Brittany. She, after seeing the comparison of her to like a Rock of Love contestant, I can't not see it. But the
That was
way,
such whoever, like, did that, it's like when people, like, make those, like, realizations, I'm like, your brain is, like, such a brilliant, beautiful thing. Like, when I, like, wanna write those people, like, a love letter to their brain.
Same.
Because, like, that it like, once I saw it, I was like, "Yes." Like, it was like, I think we were all, like, watching, like, "What who does she remind me of? Where" like, I know I haven't seen her before. She totally is a Rock of Love I couldn't unsee it. Once it was out there, it's like every time I see her, I'm like, "Oh, Rock of Love."
Oh, 100%.
I
So,
mean, the checkered
clearly,
sunglasses.
yes, yes. And clearly her and this dude do not belong together. But the thing that cracked me up about Brittany is her lack of like accountability on her behavior. She gave her phone to Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow did what any good friend would do. I would do the same thing. I understand why he would be pissed. I would hate that as well. However, you and I both, I think, would have no problem kind of being like, you're whatever.
Yeah, oh, I've done
Yeah,
it, so, yeah.
yeah. But for Brittany to then be like, I'm mad at you, Lisa. And I love that Lisa, when being confronted by her, was like, no, I don't regret anything I said. He treated you like shit. And I'm like, yes, Lisa. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good girlfriend. But Brittany, honey, you also let that happen.
You could've
Just,
taken your phone away. Like, yeah.
yes, you could have taken your phone away. And I don't know. That whole thing is so weird
Also,
to me.
that, like, that yeah, the whole thing is weird to me. If I was this Osmond guy, I would be like, "I am not signing to agree to be filmed." Like, I have to, like, he probably didn't know what was happening, obviously, behind the scenes, but, like, I would love to know, like, did she actually text him and say, like, "We're done, we're broken?" Because she
I
said she
don't think
hadn't told him.
so.
So, like, I don't think
No,
this guy's even aware. So then he's getting these texts like, "You're awful, you're trash," and he's like, "What is happening?" He's like, "I
no.
didn't even." relationship with this person. How could you know, like, what is going on?
She is chaos, is that woman. That's all I have to
Great
say.
reality TV. Good find, bravo.
Yes. Another unexpected thing, Mary Cosby's participation and love of ziplining. Who knew? Who
Mary
knew?
Cosby this season, who knew? That is my
Who
theme from
knew?
Who Knew? Mary Cosby, who knew? She has shown up. She was great on Watch What Happens Live. She was cracking me up when she was telling Andy that Robert Sr. doesn't like any of the like production. And he's like, oh, she's like, oh, he likes you, Andy. He's like, well, I am a producer. Like it was just, she is killing me like with humor. I couldn't like, oh my God, like I cannot get enough of Mary Cosby. And I'm like, what is happening? Like
I
what
know. The fact
alternative
that she was like,
universe?
I love ziplining and gave various examples, that took me like off guard. And I was like, what? I mean, jabbing at Heather for having mud on her lips, which was actually pretty funny. And
Yeah.
what shit friends? I would immediately like grabbed
Hey,
her, like pulled your
yeah.
phone and then like look at yourself and like you
Right.
literally have mud on your lips.
Yeah, I would
You're
not have
good though.
allowed it to continue, but, you know, Mary being an amazing, reality TV star, which is so crazy to even say, uh, when they asked her about tailgating, that killed me. Like, she didn't even know what they were talking about.
No, nope. It was a great, as
Also, wait,
always,
can we also
great.
say her being, for whatever reason, just because she was with Angie, being so weird and secretive about the dance class and running into Heather's daughter? She's like, "The wind blew her to me, and I blew right with it." And then, like, Brittany's like, "But, like, where did you run into her?" And she's like, "I told you, the wind." And they're like, "What?" And that
What?
was dance class.
I
And I was
feel
going, oh, go
I
ahead.
feel like that's Mary's way of being a good friend to Angie because she know Angie's in some shit and she doesn't want to have to like defend her. So this
That's
her way of like avoiding it is her way of like just not sharing the full truth.
there's probably a lot of yeah, that's probably it, but it made me laugh. I
Oh my
really
god,
appreciated it,
I
yeah.
forgot we saw her dancing in this episode, awkwardly dancing, mind you. This
Okay,
episode
wait.
did it all.
I couldn't help but laugh though when Lisa Barlow's like, You did it for a workout?" Like, it was great.
What an episode and what a season with Salt Lake. And you guys know what to do. We're working overtime here, giving you multiple episodes. So, you know what you need to do? We want to hit 1,500 reviews by the end of the year. So, hit 5 stars, leave a written review. And with that, make it a great day or don't. The choice is yours.